Hello, it's Dale here. I thought today I'd show you another little book that I've made. Now, there's no stitching, nothing like that, no pre-felts, just something different that I've made. And many people know that I have done a lot of family research and done a book on Ian's family. And now I've delved into Ian's paternal side, but his grandmother. And these folk, both of them came from Yorkshire in Scotland to Ballarat, of all places, where they met and got married, etc., etc. And they had 11 children. 4 of them are in the graveyard in Ballarat, and I've been to visit all of that. And then they moved to New Zealand. And the interesting thing about them, their name was Taylor. Yes, just like my grandmother's name was Smith. Tricky to sort down, but you get there. But the thing about them was that only the girls had have children, and so the Taylor name on that little leg of Taylor has disappeared forever. So, but I'm doing a book on the family, finding out things that nobody else seems to know, and I thought, I'm writing a book, so I thought I'll make a little concertina book this time. And I haven't done any stitching. I could have done fabric and stitched and then scanned it and used it that way, but for this time I've used things like, because I don't use other people's photos that mean nothing to me, so I've done all sorts of things, like I've printed out onto goodness, I'm not sure what this is now. It's a very clear sort of thing, so that's one sort of messy, this bits and pieces. It could have been a gel plate, so I print onto all sorts of things. I've used things for the background, like that's their graves. I've printed on, that's just printer paper, and I've done a whole lot in preparation where I've actually done image transfer onto linen and whatnot. So, but I've also printed onto pattern paper, really good. And sometimes you get the arrows and things in it, and the words, they may just suit what you're doing. I've printed onto tissue paper, ordinary tissue paper, and tissue text. And sometimes I had a letter that one of the that Ian's great grandmother wrote to one of her daughters after her husband died, and that's really good. You grab these things when you see them. For instance, this one, where is it here? It's a very valuable document. We have the rent book from when they had a boarding house, because they chased mines, but they weren't miners. They had a boarding house in Reefton and up in Kamata, which is up near Thames. And I've got the rent book, which is fabulous, and I transferred that onto something I had. It's really, really suitable. And then so I've used those. I've used some of them. I've just used the images straight from the thing. Some of them I printed. So what I did was I went for different sizes, and I put them onto the background. I used some of them aren't as good as others, but that's okay. It's always a learning thing. And I layered them, and this one is an image transfer that I've put onto here. This one was an image transfer onto another weight, so it's like a 3D thing. That's Ian's 2 great uncles. He knew them, Bob and Spence. And I've put postcards underneath and put people on the top and part of this and that and the other thing. And this is Ian's grandmother, both ends, which is really good. And then I did the other side as well. And this page would not fit down, so I made an extra little stick out page. I have to muck around this one, I'll show you. And so I've used parts and put them on all over the place. Just sort of thinking about, and the kids, there's a very valuable photo of all the grandchildren and the adults up in Globe Hill. If you're a New Zealander, you'll know where Globe Hill is, I'm sure. It's not far from Reefton. And because Reefton's pretty big for mining again these days. And so I put them all together to make this little book. And to use my book, this time I used a Khadi tiny zigzag book. You could cut up paper and do it yourself, that's fine. And of course Khadi is wonderful for stitching and drawing, etc., etc., except as you can see I didn't do any of those things. But I did use a bit of washi tape here and there. And I also put some flakes on here and there, and just to give a little hinge of old world There we are, some here. And to do that, I simply used my glue stick and rubbed some of my metallic flakes on. So you can see that's them there, because they blow around terrifically. And then I made a little tiny, some hearts, and I did that with some cake, things that I've had for years and years, things that you keep. And I've used modelling clay, clay, mass clay, which sets overnight, put little holes in, and I've impressed it with lace or stencils or whatever you've got. And at the moment I'm thinking about how I can anchor this one in as a little extra little heart. And I've painted them, I've painted them with Lumiere olive, and I've rubbed a bit of wax, metallic wax on them, and I've used wire, fine wire to, as you can see, keeping with the green. I think the green reminds me of perhaps the West Coast. And so we'll pop them in, and then the only stitching that I've done for the whole thing is to make one of my machine wrapped cords and to pop it on here for a wraparound. So if you're working on this sort of thing, I hope that gave you a few ideas for what you might do. It's very easy but messy, but there you go. So I'll see you again another time. Bye.